Hey everybody, welcome to our channel where we do line by line discovery of the New Testament. We are in Matthew chapter 4 verses 11 and 12. This is right when the devil tries to tempt Jesus and all of a sudden the devil just disappears, and there's a lot of details in there that are fascinating. Check out the previous video if you're interested, and if you do have an interest in going through the Bible line by line in little usable chunks, then that is what we're doing here. Just a few minutes, 4 questions typically, or 4 comments that we ask anybody that has genuine goodness in their heart, that is a scholar or studies these issues, then please comment. And as soon as I see that we have so many rude people and so many wonderful people, I would prefer and only read the good ones. People that are rude, I just stay away from. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Jesus hears John. This is right after some messengers came and started to minister to Jesus, which I had some questions about in the previous video. And John was delivered up to withdraw to Galilee. This is what Jesus hears. The question is, how was John delivered up? Like, that implies a whole lot of things, and there's no explanation. And why? Why does John even need to leave? So John left Nazareth and he goes to, I may butcher the pronunciation of this, Capernaum. This is on the border of Zebulun and what appears to be really close to Nephilim, except they added a T, Nephthalim. And that really makes me wonder, was this a place where Genesis talks about the gods, what is it called? The sons of God. There you go, Kevin. The sons of God, they take the daughters of men, and they were referred to as the Nephilim. Is this a land of the Nephilim? I don't know. It doesn't say. So if any of y'all scholars know, it's a pretty interesting question. And if so, why would John go there? Question number 2 is chapter 4, verse 14. Matthew is attempting to connect Isaiah. Now, this is kind of irritating to me personally, because I'm reading this not to bash anybody or not to do that, because a lot of people are so sensitive. They think just because you're questioning the Bible, all of a sudden you're bashing Christianity. I am not doing that. I'm doing this for my own learning and for all the people that join us and who come here on Sundays to meditate and fellowship and to worship in their own ways. And so why make this, they're making a stretch here, which I find irritating, because Matthew is attempting to connect Isaiah from the Old Testament to Jesus to fulfill a prophecy. And it's just not true. Yeah, I don't know why they're making this absurd stretch, because he's quoting from Isaiah basically, and I don't know if there's a need for that. Why stretch the truth, which would be akin to lying? So is that because he knows people can't read? Because that is a big deal. Because if people can't read, then they must trust the ones who can read. So does that mean is there any sort of nefarious underlining, we have to control the people we're setting this thing up to? I don't know. It really put a not a good feeling in my heart when I read that, because I studied Isaiah at length, and there's not a prophecy there for Jesus in this way, at least from all of my studies. So I didn't like that particularly. And then question number 3 is, where is the meat of the story? Like so often in the Bible, we were taught in Sunday school from Baptist to, went to Baptist school, and then I went to a Catholic school before going to public school, and I wasn't told this. Like, there were elaborate stories of Jesus and all the biblical Old Testament stories. Most of them are really short, and they don't have much to say. And so I don't like that either, because now you're stretching the truth. And so you got Jesus here. There's no story. He's being tempted. Where are all these lost years? Because all of a sudden Matthew is jumping right into Jesus being an adult and doing these things, being tempted, fasting. What happened to him? I think if you are, as we all know, going to say you got to go through Jesus to get to God, you need a mediator, according to the New Testament. Wouldn't how he developed be extremely important? And I didn't realize this till several years ago in studying these issues, that there's a long-held tradition that goes back to the time of Jesus, that Jesus was in India and Jesus trained under a yogi master. I find that story fascinating, just fascinating. And that may kind of disturb some people, but that is true, that India has that tradition. And I'm just curious if that is true. So that's it right now. We're moving directly along to Jesus proclaiming and preaching all sorts of interesting things right in the next video. So please join us. If you are in the local area and you have a good, warm, open heart and you really find it crucial in this life to have good, trusted friends, to develop good relationships, to know yourself better, to practice the art of listening, to have stronger relationships that will ultimately help us grow and learn so we can meditate and communicate and connect with the infinite in much more powerful ways, then please come visit us. You can find out all the information at mysticsoftexas.com. It's mysticsoftexas.com. We'll see you then.